2012, PIND set out to achieve its mandate of reducing poverty in the Niger Delta region by designing and implementing developmental activities that seeks to raise the income of poor farmers and enterprises and provide sustainable means of livelihood to individuals in the communities in the Niger Delta.
When PIND came into the Niger Delta, we discovered that there was a lot of inefficiency among small and medium enterprises and the whole lot of actors in that, in the agri value chain, the agri sector.
Findings from the value chain analysis carried out on viable sectors in the Niger Delta showed huge pro-poor growth opportunities in aquaculture, cassava, palm oil, and poultry, and a good prospect for a business development and linkages program for small enterprises.
From the study, we realized that despite the fact that there was huge opportunities in the sector, the knowledge level of farmers was low. There was poor extension services from the government, and there was little or no private sector consultants or service providers in the region.
A lot of consultants are not used to that space. Consultants are usually used to provide services to big companies, oil companies, banks, and the likes.
A service provider is a firm or an individual who provides, services to our target beneficiaries, who are actually market actors in the sectors that we work in, and who provide services to farmers, businesses, to help them grow and increase their productivity.
We found that there was complete market failure in the sense that SMEs and farmers who needed services didn't know exactly where to go to for information, for advice, for training, or for access to finance. We ask ourselves, why is the market not addressing this problem? What's the cause of the market failure? And found that there was complete lack of support system for the entire agricultural value chain in the region.
Remember, it's about skill and it's about impact. It's about impacting as many poor people as you can in the sector. So single-handedly, there is little or nothing that PIND can do if we are going to try to reach every individual farmer in the sector. So the need for using the market actors, the support markets, cannot be overemphasized.
So we started developing and adopting the service providers model as a strategy for really ensuring that the support system is functional.
In fact, I want to confess that before now, even as an extension officer, I did not understand what BMP is, Best Management Practice. But after PIND's training, I saw that a lot of farmers were really making mistakes in their farm operation.
Before the partnership with PIND, it was mostly funds mobilization, getting funds for businesses, and also the pre-investment studies. So, but with the partnership with PIND, we extended to the linkage to markets. So now we're able to understand that it's not only funds that is the need of businesses. Businesses also need people to buy from them, people to patronize their services.
Before the PIND linkage between MUHAD or fabricators and processors, the small-scale palm oil processing equipment, which we call SSP, was not that popular. And most people were involved in use of manual labor. But I know that the PIND is an acronym of Partnership Initiative in the Niger Delta. Because before they came, like I said initially, that it's just a matter when customer comes, I produce. If I don't see them, I don't even know where to go.
We started addressing that gap by identifying and training a pool of consultants who can serve as service providers to the SMEs, to the farmers, and generally all the actors in the agri sector.
One of the things we look at is their entrepreneurial ability, because we want to look at people who see opportunities and do not have to wait for PIND to maybe give them grants or money or something before they can do something. We want people who are able to see an opportunity and take on it headlong. So these are the kind of people we look at. And of course, we also look at gender. we try as much as we can to ensure that at least 30% of the people we work with are female. So we give particular attention to gender inclusion. And then, yes, we also look at the technical capacity, even though the training focuses more on the technical bit. So even if they're not necessarily in the agricultural sector, but yes, they should have some idea and some passion.
So we needed to as well identify what the value proposition is for them. The business case is the fact that they can make money and becoming value driven.
And so that was the focus, getting these consultants to focus on strengthening small and medium enterprises to become more effective in their functional areas of business.
So we provide them with additional skills, to be able to do their work much more effectively. And then also we mentor them over a period. And then we sometimes also do, refresher trainings, just to be sure that they're up there and they're able to do their work much more effectively. And we help them expand their activities once we're sure, that they are effectively and sustainably providing services in the market system. We help them expand their activities so that they can reach more beneficiaries, through small grants or linkages to partners who can help them expand.
Some of the PIND facilitated workshops have actually assisted us in gaining more insights about performance measurement, performance evaluation with regards to SMEs activities, which is the micro, small and medium enterprises, their activities in the society. So with that, we'll better understand and better assess these businesses appropriately to be able to know where they stand and what are their needs and intervention programs that they need.
I was trained as a trainer, after which I went back to Akure training farmers, and afterwards we now started training trainers.
PIND contribution in linking MOHAT and some of these processors has to do with, they started with seminars and including, inviting the processors, the farmers, palm oil farmers, cassava farmers, and the processors, inviting us, inviting the fabricators on the other side, and sensitized us, giving us the information, giving the fabricators, because we were not only, MOHAT was not the only the fabricators around then, and they did inform us that, look, these people are looking for this technology. Then, the processors, these people are fabricating this technology. So much so that they have to organize an on-site visit within us and some millers.
I was selling everything, agrochemicals and services. But after PIND, I became a specialist because passing through that training, especially the BMP, Best Management Practice.
Green Shield is actually a business development service provider. We've attended so many trainings organized by PIND. Definitely, we were introduced to more tools for this particular aspect.
We thought we knew. We used to pride ourselves as the fastest growing agro-based company. But with our interaction with PIND, we saw some lacunas we had to fill in. And immediately, one of the staff on PIND recommended that we go for our M4P training. That is the market system development training. Having attended that training, it was a game changer for us. We saw things in a new dimension. In fact, it propelled us to a new level.
The training programs have also been complemented with monitoring and mentoring visits, all aimed at ensuring that the services providers have the requisite skills and tools to improve the quality of their services.
We're able, to support the service providers to develop clear visions for their business and for their sector.
For the past 6 years, PIND has developed training modules, identified and trained over 150 service providers and agro-dealers in the 4 sectors it works in.
The model has evolved now. Today, we have a lot of testimonies everywhere, among the end beneficiaries, among the support systems that we are trying to develop.
We've increased in the people patronizing us. And so if people are patronizing us, we are making money. I can tell you that We have moved, if we're able to have a kind of an income of maybe 100,000 initially when we're on before meeting PIND, I can tell you that we are having 500,000. You can just look at the margin I'm talking about. So it has been a blessing having PIND around us.
That PIND interaction with us is also giving birth to a lot of innovations. I tell you, for instance, we are not limiting ourselves to fabrication of palm oil equipment. So part of the innovation is that, okay, we will now have a section where we'll be training the operators that will handle our equipment. So that's innovation, also, a birth from the PIND Mohat interaction.
In fact, a lot of farmers now call me Mr. Banker because I'm now a specialist on oil palm. I only had one shop in my headquarters, which is Edo State, and another shop in Akwa Ibom State, which is my branch. But after PIND, as I speak with you, we have 3 outlets. So the pressure is on us now how to service these farmers because my farmers' base have increased, my customers' base has increased, and consequently my revenue has increased. So I give kudos to PIND.
Our partnership with PIND helped us get into that linkage to market service. So what we do now is we find out those large buyers who will need the services or the products of the local producers. So we create that platform in which they get to meet each other and a relationship begins. And it was with this that we started the Business Linkages Forum.
We actually even have a services market that is functioning, that is working in the various sectors that we work in. We have ASPs working in agriculture, we have BSPs working in business linkages, we have service providers working in poultry, we have agro dealers and fabricators working in palm oil and cassava. And so that itself is a thumbs up to the efficacy of our model.
Our development approach is quite strategic and we focus on sustainability, and that is why there is a lot of emphasis on facilitation. The traditional development approach focuses more on direct delivery. The problem with that is if they go away, if they're no longer there, and the beneficiaries want the same solution, they're not going to get it because the solution providers are no longer in the space.
My people are asking me to come back and teach them more. So I intend to expand in Akwa Ibom 3 or more locations.
As a fabricator and aquaculture service provider, so I build that courage and have that passion in doing that work every day. I see it as something already part of me and I love doing it.
Though I'm based in Ondo State, my sphere of influence has increased. Right now, I have clients in Edo State, I have people in Port Harcourt that call me for consultancy because I have a number of them I've trained that are in Port Harcourt. Then Kwara State, there are people that call me from there that I reach out to. I have people in Lagos that are into fish farming, which I'm consulting for. So I'm even looking at spreading more to other states that I don't have any clients at the moment.
The interesting part of it is that the service providers are presenting their own targets for 2019. That is the real test of sustainability. This is happening, this is systemic change.
2019, we are looking at reaching small and medium enterprises of about 100. Then going forward, we should double it next, maybe annually.
And these guys are successful because they are making money, they're doing it. So they're providing services directly to the farmers and they're earning fee. And they're also providing their services to corporate organizations who have incentives to support farmers. And they're also earning money from those organizations doing that.
So PIND can afford to exist today, and these businesses will be performing at the top level because there's a strong support system. The SMEs know exactly where to go to get help and to increase their profitability. That's what we're talking about when we say the market is working, and it's actually working.